Let's change the NFT mint portal from looking like this into looking like this. Let's go. You're gonna love this one. Let's start working with our Web3 application. And we already have a Web3 application. It's not looking the right way. It's not visually appealing. Let's make something that it's worth navigating with and it's worth interacting with. Let's make sure that that Web3 application can attract as many users and bring confidence to our potential NFT buyers. Because one thing for certain is that the Web3 application that you are trying to get your users invest in or buy your collection needs to be looking top notch. Because let me tell you, that tells you a lot about who's behind the project. If you see a Web3 application or a front-end UI, if you look at a Web3 application that doesn't look into today modern model pages, it doesn't have animation, it doesn't have visually appealing objects, it's gonna be very hard for someone to invest in a platform if it doesn't look like a state-of-the-art platform that will definitely bring added value onto every single NFT holder. And because we want to incentive our users into getting NFTs so they can stake those NFTs onto our pools, the Web3 application needs to look like a professionally built Web3 application, okay? So in this video, what I'm going to do, I am going to show you how are we going to revamp the entire Web3 application to look more visually appealing. Not only that, in our first video, this particular video, I am going to show you how to create a mint dashboard that looks 100% better than what we used to be working with on the previous videos. This new Web3 model will have the capability of letting users mint their NFTs using different ERC-20 cryptocurrencies. Because we remember on the last video that I covered, we work with an ERC-721 smart contract that allows to mint NFTs using different cryptocurrencies, different ERC-20 cryptocurrencies. And what we need to do now is we need to code that website to look more visually appealing. So let's go ahead. It's a long video, but I'm going to go in phases. Phase one, we are going to reconfigure our NFT collection smart contract with 2 additional functions that we need in order for us to allow that mint dashboard to work as expected. Then we'll make the changes in React to get that interface to the smart contract and all the buttons that we need to configure talking properly. So we want to make sure that we get that connectivity going on. And then finally, we're going to mint some NFTs and see how the functionality looks. We're gonna mint from different cryptocurrencies by just selecting how many NFTs do we want, select the currency, and we are going to see something very interesting. We are going to see that the dApp, the Web3 dApp, is going to ask the users to approve spending for those custom ERC-20 tokens. As we know on the last video, we have to make sure that our wallet, in this case, I as a user, need to authorize the NFT Collection smart contract from transferring the ERC-20 tokens that the end user is intending to pay the NFTs with, okay? So let's go ahead. There's a lot to cover, but let's get this party started. I am going to jump onto Remix and we're gonna make this happen. let's go. Okay, let's start with Remix. So the first thing I'm going to do, I am going to grab my updated ERC-2021 NFT collection that will allow you to add different cryptocurrencies. And if you haven't seen this video, the link, I am going to provide it here on this video description, okay? So you can go ahead and watch that one and get familiar with how to program or develop this particular NFT collection smart contract, okay? So what I'm gonna do, I am going to copy it. So we are going to get the entire code and we are going to copy that and we're gonna go to Remix and we're gonna paste it there, okay? So on Remix, what I need to do, I have to add certain things that will allow me to interact with the new Web3 model. Let's take a look at the Web3 model so we are familiar with what needs to work from a contract standpoint, okay? So I just got a picture because we need to go ahead and work with it and build it out. So the first thing that we have to work with in the smart contract is that I need to be able to code a function in React.js that will allow me to select a particular cryptocurrency or token that I'm going to use to pay for the NFT, and React should be able to talk to the smart contract into the particular PID, okay? So when we work with those items, we need to make sure that the mapping in React will talk to the NFT smart contract, okay? And for that, we need to make sure that we can get some information first so that we can map that information that we got from the smart contract onto React so then React can properly get that functionality applied to the particular button. So we can code that on React and that will allow us to select the particular cryptocurrency and mint using that particular ERC-20 token as the payment token for our NFTs, okay? We are also going to create a button group that will allow us to select the amount of NFTs that we are allowed as buyers to request on a particular transaction. So we can get from 1 to 5. So let's say I select 5, I can go ahead and select then the payment and it should auto open the MetaMask wallet and ask us for the payment. But also the MetaMask wallet will request us to approve the NFT smart contract from transferring those tokens. So we first need to make sure that we approve the NFT smart contract to spend the tokens that are on our wallet, that those tokens, we own those tokens. So the NFT smart contract needs to get approval from the ERC-20 token smart contract to move those funds, okay? And we are literally, once we select the quantity, we click the ERC-20 token, it's going to open the wallet and it's going to ask, the first thing it's going to ask us, hey, do you approve to spend your X ERC-20 token? X means the token that you selected, okay? And then you have to approve that. Once that's done, then you transfer the tokens to the NFT smart contract. And finally, the NFT smart contract will give you the mint approval or the mint request, and you can go ahead and mint your NFTs, okay? So we're working with that, and we finally have to work with this particular table. So let's go back to Remix and do what we need to do on Remix on the existing smart contract to make this happen, okay? Because we need some functionality there, okay? So what I have to do on Remix, it's basically we have to get onto the contract and import into the contract and create 2 functions because we need to retrieve 2 additional things. Okay. The first thing that I have to work with, I'm going to show you real quick, and I'm going to copy everything and pasting because if I go line by line, we're going to take forever in this video. And I already explained at least how does each particular option it's there for. If you're not familiar what is this doing, I suggest you see the, you go watch the ERC-721 with ERC-20 token smart contract video, and you're definitely gonna get familiar with, okay? So what I'm doing right now, I am telling the smart contract, hey, I want to build a function called get NFT cost. Why I need to get that? Because every single cryptocurrency or ERC-20 token that we allow to be used as payment for those NFTs will have a different cost. And we need to get that information out from the smart contract, so then React can send the request to the Web3 call to MetaMask, so then we can say how many tokens do we need to transfer, okay? So for us to get that information, we basically code a function get NFT cost. NFT cost basically will ask for the PID. PID meaning the ID of the ERC-20 token that we are using to buy the NFTs, okay? This information, PID, will be attached to, let me show you again, will be attached to each particular picture. Okay, in this case, the logo of the ERC-20 token, what is happening on the backend, React.js will have the PID that we have on the smart contract attached to the button as a value that we are going to retrieve when we do the mint. Okay, so this is how I tell React, hey, that token belongs to PID 0, that token belongs to PID 1, 2, and so forth, okay? The next thing that we have to do is we have to be able to get the ERC-20 token smart contract address and provide that to React. Why? Because we need to tell React in the mint function in React what is the ERC-20 token that we are intending to use to pay for the NFTs. So then React can send that Web3 call to the MetaMask wallet and request in that particular cryptocurrency or ERC-20 token, okay? And it's the same fashion. We are calling the PID. The PID we know includes both the cost of the NFT in that particular ERC-20 token and the ERC-20 token address itself. That's how we get the value onto React, okay? Let's keep on going. One last thing, and this is gonna be, I think it's gonna be a bonus, okay? So this smart contract, the way that this smart contract is set, it's set to work with custom ERC-20 tokens, okay? But I saw a question for a couple of people that were asking on the videos or on the comment sections in my videos, asking, what if I still want to use the default cryptocurrency? In this case, let's say we're using Polygon, so we deployed this on Polygon, we want to use Matic as default. I should not be able to add that as a custom. Correct. You should not be able to, you don't need to, that's the default. So what I want to do instead, check this out. What I want to do instead, I want to code two mint functions. One, to use the default token, and two, to continue using the PID. So we'll have two mint functions. One is just going to allow the user to pay in the native token. In this case, you know, Polygon, if you deploy it on Polygon, if you're deploying on Ethereum, ETH, and so forth, okay? So let's go ahead and do that. So we know that this is the function to add a particular pool ID because we are specifying which token do we want to use to buy the NFTs. But what I want to do now is I want to add another function, but this one is just going to allow me to buy it using the native token. Okay, and I do have this smart contract on one of my first videos, which I showed how to code an ERC-721 smart contract. This is basically the function. The function is just a mint function. The only difference is that it's not going to look for a PID. It's just gonna use the constructor on the smart contract and you know, ask you to pay in the native token. Okay, but one thing that we still need to provide is the cost in that native token, and we cannot do that inside the function. We want to do this outside of the function, inside the constructor, as a public var or a public object, because when we go to React, we need to use the methods call methods to get the cost natively. Okay, I'm going to show you that right after I paste the liner. So let's say, okay, let's say I want to retrieve, right? I want to sell the NFTs for 15 native tokens, and this is not Ethereum. This is Ether. This is the measurement. When I specify this cost, I am telling it's 15 of the native token. So in this case, if you deploy this on Polygon, it's going to be 15 Matic. If you deploy this on Ethereum, it's going to be 15 Ethereum. Oh my God, that's a lot. But you get the idea. So let's say you want to sell this on Ethereum, and this is, you're using the native token. Then I don't know, you want to sell it for 0.05. I don't know. You get the idea. So that's how you lower the price if it's measuring in Ether, which is the measurement that we're using. But in this case, we're using Matic. So let's say we'll just sell each one for 50 Matic. Okay, and that's how you do it. So right now the smart contract has been configured to allow us to not only use default tokens, but also continue to use a PID, which means that we can still import our own ERC-20 token smart contract and use that as payable for the NFTs, okay? One last thing, we see an issue here. Both functions are named the same. So what I ended up doing, the one that will ask you for a PID, I just change that function name to be mint PID, which means that it's the same mint function, but obviously it's meant for PIDs. So you create a PID group. In the PID group, you go ahead and add the cost of the NFTs and the token that you are accepting or you're expecting the users to pay with, okay? So let's see what else do we want to do. I think that's it. So what we're gonna do now, we're going to deploy this right now, real quick. I am going to compile the smart contract. And once I compile the smart contract, we want to deploy it, okay? So I just deploy the smart contract. So what I want to make sure now is that I have enough Matic. Yeah, I am going to deploy this on Polygon, but this will work in Ethereum, same process, same procedure, same syntax, same code, okay? So what I want to do now, I want to deploy the smart contract. So I'm going to change myself to be injected. So then I'm start using my wallet. And then I'm going to go ahead, select the collection, and we are going to deploy it. So let me go ahead and deploy. I'm going to confirm, and we should get a approval. And there you go. You see it right here. I just moved my video. There you go. You got the approval. Let's continue. Okay. Now what we need to do, we got that collection. So grab that collection value or the address. I'm going to grab and let's say NFT contract. That will be the NFT collection smart contract. Because we need to update this in React. So because we need to update this in React.js, we want to get those values, okay? So this is the NFT smart contract. And then I want to create 3 different custom ERC-20 tokens, which we will use to pay for those NFTs, okay? So what I want to do, I want to go back. That's set. The first token that I'm going to deploy is obviously Nft Rewards, the best token ever. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're just going to deploy this one as it is, and then we'll modify the smart contract for 2 different tokens, okay? So what I wanna do, Nft Rewards, deploy, and it's going to obviously ask me to pay the transaction fee. And now while we wait for that contract to be completed, to be deployed, okay, we got the contract address. Let's go back, paste. Now let's deploy 2 more. Let's just make a fake USDT and let's make a fake ape. Okay. So USDT, we're gonna go back and we're just changing the names here. USDT. Okay. And we'll recompile the contract. And let's go ahead and deploy it. Select it. I am now going to deploy this. This will be the USDT, fake USDT coin. And now I am awaiting for the contract address so I can add this on my notepad, because we need to use those addresses to build the PIDs, okay? Or to add the currencies onto the NFT smart contract. Okay, and we got the USDT one. Let's save that one. And finally, we need to do the same thing for ape. So let me go ahead and modify ape. Modify ape. And I already set a pre-mint for 10,000, so I will be receiving 10,000 of each one so we can test. So we will get some ERC-20 tokens here, okay? So I'm gonna compile this smart contract. Now let's go back and deploy the final one, okay? Let's go ahead and confirm. Once we're done with this last one, we can go ahead and add the PIDs and continue on, okay? So we just got the last smart contract, ape, okay. Now we got all 3 ERC-20 tokens. So let me go ahead and add the first one, Nft rewards, and we are going to charge using Nft rewards, right? We're going to charge the cost per NFT will be 30 NTR, right? Then we're going to charge USDT. How much we want to charge per NFT? We're gonna cost will be per NFT will be 150 USDT. Let's just say USDT 150, and ApeCoin per NFT it's going to be, okay, so that will be the cost to mint in those values. So I am going to add the first currency onto the collection smart contract. Let's go here, add currency, token smart contract, price 30, and this is, remember, this is Gwei measurement or Gwei value, which is 30, and then 18 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Awesome. We got 18 zeros and we got 30. So this basically tells us it's 30 per NFT if we will use the Nft rewards. Okay, let me go ahead and transact. It's going to ask us for some gas fees. And after that, we should get that confirmation. Boom, confirm, awesome. So now we got the first PID and we can check here. There we go, we got the pay token. This is the first custom ERC-20 token, and we got the cost of 30 per NFT. But now we got 2 additional features that we want to test, or functions. The first one, we coded get crypto token, which will give us only the address, okay? There we go. That's the address of the Nft rewards token, because we need to use that to do the mint function in React.js, okay? And we want to make sure that we also work with get NFT cost, which will give us only the price per NFT in that particular cryptocurrency. 30 Nft rewards. Awesome. Let's continue. Next token. And you see, we tested with that one. The other ones, I'm just going to go a little bit quicker here. So I'm going to go ahead. This is USDT, and we are going to charge 150. So let's just change 30 to 150. There you go. Transact. Confirm. Once we're done, we'll do the last one and we'll move on. Okay, we are done with the USDT, and let's go ahead and add the ape coin. So we got the ape, and ape, we said that we want 25 per ape, so instead of 150, only 25. Transact. And now we should have 3 different ERC-20 cryptocurrencies allowed to be used as payment for NFTs, okay? So now we have the capability of minting 2 ways. We can either mint natively, we have the function, we have the native mint function, which allows us to use the native token. If this is deployed in Polygon, we will use Matic. If this is deployed on Ethereum, we'll use Ethereum, obviously. And we also have the mint with PID. PID means that give me the particular cryptocurrency or custom cryptocurrency that you want to use. PID 0 is Nft rewards, so this is PID 0 because this is the first one. Then the second PID, PID 1, and finally PID 2. Okay, so we got those 3 PIDs, so we know exactly which values are. Why this is very important? Because I need to code on the model this on the button, so when someone clicks this particular button right here, it's going to map the value of 0 because Nft rewards, it's PID 0. So on the back, it's value of 0, and it's going to send the mint function with the particular token smart contract address as well as the cost in that particular Nft rewards, because it's able to perform this particular call. It's actually the React, the Web3 model is actually it's going to do those calls. It's going to do this call, and it's going to do this call to get the address, and this call to get the cost, and then it's going to do the calculation on the back end, and it's going to be able to give you the correct transaction. Okay, awesome. So we're making progress. Okay, let's continue. One more thing that we have to make sure that we get, and I think that's it for this side. Let me go ahead and take a look at the other things that we have to work with. Now we have to work with the JavaScript stuff that we have to configure, because we made changes on the NFT smart contract, and we're also going to be interacting with a custom ERC-20 token smart contract. We have to get the ABI updated, and we have to add another ABI. So let's go ahead and work with the token ABI, okay? And when we work with a token ABI, when we import any ABI onto a Web3 dApp, the intention is to allow the React.js front end to perform calls to the blockchain smart contract. So that's how React knows that it can interact with a particular function, okay? So for that, what we need to do to get that token ABI, we basically have to get the token, the ERC-20 token smart contract, compiled in Remix. And when we get into Remix, all we have to do is compile the token smart contract, the entity reward token smart contract. We will select, make sure that we select the right contract, in this case, entity rewards. And we click right here. Let me go ahead and expand a little bit so you can see it. Right here, you can see ABI. So below combination details, we'll see ABI. Just click that. And that basically, it's copying the entire contract ABI. So now with this, we can actually perform the calls in React, okay? So let's go to Visual Studio Code. And what we want to do, we want to create another var. This var will be called token ABI, okay? So right now I do have the Vault ABI. This is the ABI for the staking smart contract, and we got the ABI for the NFT Collection smart contract, which we also have to update because we added two functions. We added the get NFT cost and get crypto. We added those two functions, and we need to make sure that we have the ABI updated. So make sure that anytime that you need to make any changes to a smart contract, or you want to deploy a different smart contract with different functions, you got to re-import the ABI, or else your code might not work because it's not understanding the functions that you're trying to invoke, okay? So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create another var token ABI. And then we are just gonna Control V, and this is basically the entire ERC-20 ABI for the ERC-20 token smart contract, okay? Awesome, so we got that here, perfect. Okay, next. We need to, like I told you earlier, we need to make sure that we also update the NFT Collection ABI, because guess what? I'm gonna go back onto Remix. I'm going to show you what I just did. Anytime that you make a change to a smart contract, let's say you redeploy a smart contract, you upgraded a smart contract, you have to add the ABI, or you have to update the ABI, because, and when I say update the ABI, not on the smart contract, on React, anywhere that you're using the ABI to make the calls, you have to make sure that you do the update, because we added those functions. Actually, we added multiple functions. We added mint PID, which is basically a remask of the same PID, the mint function that we had with multiple custom ERC-20 tokens. And we also add the get NFT cost and get crypto token, which is going to give us the cost value per NFT minted on a particular cryptocurrency. So if you choose a particular custom ERC-20 token, there's a particular cost for that. So this is how we get that with that function. The same goes if I want to retrieve the contract address, I coded this particular function. What we need to do now is get the ABI from the smart contract, because we need to update that in React, because we need to interact with those functions. Else, If we run this without the ABI updated, you're going to see the function is not available. Of course, because we haven't updated the ABI in React. So React is not aware that the contract now has those functions. Make sure that you got that, okay? And in this case, I am not going to delete, I am just going to overwrite the existing ABI. So let's go all the way here. And this is the end of ABI. This is the contract ABI that we want to update. So we're just going to select the entire thing until we get to ABI, and then we'll just select all the way to the start of the bracket, but everything else will stay. And we'll Control V, and boom, we have updated the contract ABI, the NFT Collection Smart Contract ABI, which should give us the access to those functions, okay? Cool. The next thing we got to do is that we need to update the NFT smart contract address in our app.js. This is pointing to the contract that doesn't have the functionality for get crypto. That this is a previous contract that we deployed. We have to update that address. And guess what? We did this notepad for a particular reason. We did this quick text file because we were going to use those values. Okay, so we're just going to copy the new NFT smart contract. We're just going to update this object right here, and we should be good with that. Okay, so that looks good so far. Remember, in a nutshell, update the NFT smart contract with the new contract address with those functions because we have to deploy it. We need to add a new ABI. This will be for the ERC-20 token smart contract. So then we can interact with the actual ERC-20 tokens, okay? Or at least with the ERC-20 token smart contract. So then we can sell our NFTs using custom tokens, okay? So there you go, that's it. And we finally updated the contract API. So that's good. On the contract blockchain interaction with React, we're basically done, okay? So let's go ahead and continue now onto the React.js front end itself. Okay, so this is the fun part right here. We need to remove, the first thing we gotta do, we gotta remove that mint portal because we wanna make sure that we get ourselves on that new, very nice looking model that will just pop up, okay? So the first thing I gotta do, I have to remove this old mint portal because we are replacing this with the model. So let me go ahead and do the following. I am going to look at the particular form, and here we go. This is the mint portal. Let me go ahead and zoom in. Okay, I think that's good. Okay, so what we need to find is we need to find that mint portal, and here it goes. You can see it right here. So we just need to grab the entire form, okay? We're gonna grab the entire form, and we need to make sure that we delete from the start of the form to the end. If you can see here, this is the end. This is the closing bracket. Basically, this is the end, and this is the start. So let me go ahead and delete that, and let me Control S and see if that did any difference. And yes, it did. You can see right here, no longer, we don't see the NFTs because guess what? This is a brand new contract. We have updated the contract address, so we're not gonna see any NFTs because nothing has been bought yet, okay? And we no longer see the mint portal, okay? So that's good. Let's go ahead and continue. Next thing we got to do, we got to add the configuration for the model. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I am going to add something. I think this is just a something extra. I am using a font that is literally very similar to the Apple font. Copyright wise, I'm just doing this for education. You should definitely use something that is general use license or it's free license. I'm just doing this for demonstration. This is not an actual project role, okay? So there's a font that you can download or you can push from NPM. It's called SF San Francisco Pro Display. That's literally the Apple font, okay? And it looks very cool, okay? So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna head to the actual server. By the way, this is the old server. Now we don't see that, okay? So what I'm gonna do now, I am going to open NPM, right? And right now, because we have deleted certain things, we are now not using those values. So that's expected, okay? So what I'm gonna do now, I am going to find that your npm installer. So let's sf pro font npm, and there you go, sf font. And what we do is literally npm I install sf font, and this is literally the Apple font. Again, this is educational purposes. This is, I'm pretty sure that this requires a license, okay? So I'm gonna right click, install. So I'm installing the sf font. Once that's done, we can import that font onto React. So you're gonna see how we can do this. It's very simple. Okay, so this is done. By the way, I'm gonna restart the server, so make sure that we can see changes live. We are going to import sf font, and this is how you do it. Literally sf font, that's done. That's how you import the font. And now we can use that font to style our site. We are going to need the following objects. We are going to need, we are using Bootstrap for the GUI and the nice looking aspect of the model and everything. We are using Bootstrap, which means that we need to import the button functions or the button libraries for Bootstrap. And we also have to import tables because we want to do this particular table. We want to do this table, and we want to do button groups. And this is a button group, this is a button group, etc. And we're using this is the SF Pro font. This is the font, this is a font, this is a font that also belongs there. So we're gonna use that, okay? So now the next thing I'm gonna do, I'm going to import those libraries. So how do we do that? We are importing just button, but now we need to import tables and model. So let's go ahead and do that. And we can go ahead and replace this because now we're importing multiple things, and this is how you nest multiple things that you want to import on a same liner from this particular module, and that should be good to go, okay? So we're good on the import side. So now what I want to do is that I want to get the first thing developed. I need to add the particular module so then we can test it out, okay? So let me go ahead and do it. What I'm going to do first, I am going to import the body and then the first button, okay? So this is how we do it. I am going to go ahead and insert another form. So the first thing we want to do is we want to replace that main portal dashboard with the button that is going to open the model, okay? And we should be good to put it right here, okay? And now let me go ahead and import this particular function, which it's the function that is going to trigger the model to pop up. So on the site, once we open that model or we click that button, it's going to open that model out, okay? So let me go ahead and do that. So with that said, this is something that can be inserted after the constructor, okay? And this is basically the command. So I'm gonna just copy and paste, and we're gonna place, this can be placed after the constructor. When you open the class app, we want to insert this after the constructor ends, right below component did mount before our API calls, okay? So that's how you do it. You basically add handle model, which is the call that I do on the button. So when I click the on click, I'm gonna go back. And again, I don't focus too much on React, but for this demonstration, I want to show you how you invoke functions with buttons. So basically on click, then we are calling this promise bit. Basically what it's expecting is expecting an output or an action that will be added onto the function that we are going to code on React right now. So basically this handle model and whatever is the output. In this case, literally this button, what it's going to do is gonna call this particular function. Let me go ahead and paste the model. So we're going to start with, it's very long because there's a lot of stuff that I coded and I styled. So it's gonna be a very long, copy and paste, but bear with me. Once you try it out, I am going to give the file in GitHub you can see the entire configuration there, okay? So let me go ahead, paste the model, and we are going to review the entire thing, okay? And we want to paste that after, you see, this is what it's going to trigger. There's a button that I'm configuring called I want my NFTs. That will be the label on the button. Then after that, what I should see is the model popping out, okay? So what I'm gonna do, I am going to paste the model liner, or at least a couple of lines first, so I can explain you what's gonna happen, okay? So I'm gonna copy the first lines, and then we're gonna go through that, okay? So bear with me here. So we are opening model. Basically, what is going to open is basically that object. If you wanna learn more about the model or any other functions that you want to, search for React Bootstrap model 5, and the first link basically will tell you everything. And this is how you can call the function so then it pops the model out. So it literally gives you the whole demo. So you click, for example, here, and it shows you, hey, and see how everything is structured, all right? So there you go, React 5, Bootstrap 5 model, documentation right there, okay? Okay, so the first thing we're doing, we're opening model. And remember, this is something that we invoked because we have to import that here, or else it was not going to work. So you got to make sure that you got this up, okay? So let me go back. Okay, so now we got model, we got size large because we want to add a lot of objects inside the model, and we're displaying flex, which is a way to arrange dynamically the objects inside the model. And we are saying class name border 0 because we don't want to have any borders. We want to show this without any borders at all, okay? When you click outside, I want to get out of the model without hitting the close button. We just click outside of the model into the background, and it's literally going to hide the model. So this is basically what it's doing, okay? Now we're opening a first container. We know container, then we got a row, and then the first row, we need to display what? The first thing that I am going to display will be connect wallet. So basically, this is that object. The object that I'm showing you here in React is this right here, which what it's going to do? It's going to call connect wallet, which we already have a function for that. So let me scroll up, connect wallet. So basically what it does, it triggers this particular function, okay? Cool, so good so far. So we got model style. Oh, very important. So model style, this is a CSS styling that I added onto the model. So it looks like this. It has this gradient color, which, you know, from black, it changes to red. And then I have a shadow, very cool shadow, goldish, showing on the back. And if you want to learn how to do that, I am going to show you how to do that, okay? Let's go and see in CSS. So in order for me to create this particular CSS value or object, I gotta go to app CSS, right? And we're going to add one called, let me go back, model style, by the way. That's model style. Right now, this is what we need to add. Model style, background image, and then this is the properties. So we got here, this is that look that you're looking at this particular model is this right here. This is how we do it. In app CSS, we add this information. We add background image. We want to also use the font that we install with npm and import it. And then we want the box shadow. Remember the box shadow? This is the box shadow. This right here outside. Okay, so that gives that cool, nice, you know, appeal. So it looks very cool, okay? So there you go. This is literally all you have to paste, model style. Again, I am going to give this full-blown React configuration so that you can go ahead and apply it, okay? So next, after we're done with that, what I'm going to show the title, H1, font weight, which is going to be a little bit thinner, NFT minter, and then we are going to show from the API call that we do to Polygon Scan, we're going to show the amount of NFTs minted from the collection, and we have an NFT collection of 1,000 NFTs, so you just need to update that to the amount that you have, okay? And that will look something like this. It's going to show NFT minter, and it's going to show the amount of NFTs minted out of the collection of 1,000, okay? Cool. We need to add a cool picture. I just have one of my demo NFTs pictures that, by the way, this is not my art by any means. I'm just using it for reference, but this is not my art, okay? Very clean. And then I am going to add now wallet address, please connect wallet. This please connect wallet will basically be a label holder. So once anyone connects their wallet, this will change to the actual wallet ID, okay? Okay, so like I mentioned, there is a button called Connect Wallet, the mentor, balance result. This is the art pictures. This is basically the NFT, the image of this lady right here. This is the NFT picture. Now I am creating another row. In that row, we're gonna have a column, size small 6, medium 4. It's going to have my wallet address. Remember, like mentioned to you, this my wallet address. Below here, we will have the Connect Wallet. So let me go back. Label, floating input. Floating input means that once I get the value for wallet address, it will be replaced. So the please connect wallet will just be swapped and replaced. And if you want to know what that color is the gray color. This is the code right here, okay? So now we got that, we should be good. Okay, so we got all the way to please connect wallet. So now we are importing this group of buttons, okay? So let me go ahead and do that. Buttons, and we have to explain this a little bit more. Okay. So the group of buttons, this is what I'm actually doing with this. I am basically saying there is a button toolbar, which what it does is this styling. It basically creates this long toolbar, and each button will be literally placed in line, in sequence, okay? And in React, we got button group, and then I basically specify the size, class name, and this is margins, and this is literally the way for me to centralize, you know, up and down, is left, right, etc. I label this to be first group, so if you nest multiple groups, you label one first, then the second, and so forth. Okay, name amount, this is a name placeholder, nothing significant. Okay, style box shadow, this is basically me giving this blackish look, like a little bit of shadow on the back looks. And now here's the functionality. On click NFT amount, we need another function that will store the value for either button. Okay, the value will be grabbed and then stored and sent with the function will be stored in NFT amount. Right, so why we need to do this? This is the amount of NFTs, right? So we are going to have 5 buttons. So if someone selects button 5, it means that they're selecting 5 NFTs to be minted, okay? Then that value, so I press button 5, what I'm going to do, I'm gonna go this handle NFT, and we are going to add that function right now. So we said that the function is called handle NFT. What we do with handle NFT is that we call the variable that we were grabbing the values from. We are going to set state, meaning that what I do with that is I grab the value and store that in a bar that I can use to make the function calls, okay? Because we need to make sure that we tell on the mint function how many NFTs it's a particular user looking to buy. And how do we do that? We tell the user, click the button. That button will basically register that value. We'll send that value to this handle NFT, which then will set the state and store that in out value, okay? Because it's looking for the target, which is value. If we go back to the buttons, let's go back to the buttons, value, and it basically grabs the particular object and grab the value and store that in NFT amount, which then set a state of out value NFT amount, okay? So NFT amount getting with set state into out value, okay? Now, in order for me to use this out value, I got to render the set state with another constant. And this constant will be used in the function, in the mint function. So that's how we select in the mint how many NFTs will the user buy. Out value, set state. So now we have that object available for us to interact in the mint function, okay? Let's continue. Next, we are going to now add, this is very cool. Now what we need to do, toolbar, div. Okay, now we are going to add the second row. Let's take a look here. We now are going to add the token logos and the token button. So we are going to do something very similar like we did with the quantity or the amount, but now we're going to do it with the with the ERC-20 token logos, so then we can tell the end user, hey, which token do you want to use to buy those NFTs, okay? And we're gonna add this title, buy with your preferred crypto. So let me go ahead and do that. Cool deal, awesome. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go down here, right? And I'm going to paste that line. The entire line, what it's going to do? The first thing, I am going to add a title, buy with your preferred crypto. And you can see the styling right here. You know, we got border 01, transparent, margin right, etc. And this is how we invoke the images. I need to have the images in the public folder, and then I just type, you know, I open bracket image source, and to the dash logo, that will be the token number 1. And you can see it, it's right here because it's under the public folder. So we are definitely using this, okay? Same with USDT, same with Ape, and same with Matic. Those are the logo files for those currencies, okay? What I'm going to do, this is very important. On each button, we are going to code a one on click, and I am going to call each function separately. And yes, I can do the same thing. For those who are wondering, I can do the same thing by creating a handle NFT on click and with a different name, and then use that instead of me creating separate functions. But I want to show you other ways that you can accomplish that without using this. Obviously, it's going to require mode code because you have to code a function per button. And with this, you don't. You just code one function and you're done. But we're doing the other way so that you can see that it's also doable. Now, this is very important. You can see mint 0. I decided to call the first mint function for the N2D reward token mint 0 because that is the PID 0, and I decided to call it mint 0, okay? Then mint 1, mint 2, and the last one, Matic, because we coded this smart contract in Polygon, we are allowing the default token to be used, and you can see here, I don't have any PIDs. We're gonna leave the regular mint function to allow us to buy using the native token, okay? So what I need to do now, I need to create 4 different functions or 3 different functions, and we are just going to update one function, the one that we already have, so then it can auto-calculate the cost based on the amount of tokens the end user wants to get, okay? So let me go ahead and do that. So before, we were actually asking the end user to provide the amount of tokens that they want to buy. Now we're not going that route. We're just giving a toolbox, a button toolbar, which each button is the value. So it looks better, way more visually appealing. So in this case, I am going to obtain the amount of NFTs that a particular user wants. How? Remember our value? Remember this constant that we created set state, which is going to get the information from the NFT amount down below that we coded with that button group? This is how we call it. So if someone hits button number 1, the set state will store whatever information is from button 1 onto var NFT amount, then NFT amount will set state to all value of 1. So that's how we get that value store there. You see, it's not hard. And now basically the other items will be the same. I'm going to do mint rate, which is basically retrieving the cost of that NFT. If you were to mint using the mint function without any PIDs at the end, that means that you're using the native token. And this is basically the call. It's the same as the previous call that we already did, okay? So nothing too fancy there. Now we're going to add the other functions. This is the fun part. I think this is the most important thing. How would you allow your NFT portal mint NFTs by accepting payments that are not the native ERC-20 token, in this case, Matic or Ethereum, okay? So what I need to do, I need to create custom functions, and this is how we do it. I remember below I did a button for each one. I did a mint 0 for N2D R. I did mint 1 for Tether. I did mint 2 for Ape, and those are the PIDs. PID 0 is this one, PID 1 and PID 2. And this one will not have any PIDs because this is the native token, okay? So let me go back. Okay, so now what we need to do, we need to call the PID. Remember on the last video, PID will be the token that we want to use. In this case, mint00. Now, here's the cool thing. I need to grab from my NFT Collection smart contract using what function? Remember the function that we coded in that smart contract? Get crypto token? We need to call that to the PID of 0, which is the first ERC-20 token that we added as a currency to accept token payments. So this is how we get that information from that smart contract address, because we need to interact with that contract address. Now, check this one out. We need to get currency. This will be the value that we are going to grab with the Web3 ETH contract call to get the token ABI assigned or referenced to the ERC-20 token smart contract. Okay? Token ABI, smart contract, that's how we make changes or we interact with the smart contract. Okay? You gotta make sure that you understand that. You need both things. You need the token ABI and you need the contract address, and now React with Web3 can actually make those calls and interact with those functions. And we need to store that in currency because we are going to use this to make the contract methods, which will allow us to transfer, to mint, and so forth, okay? And it's saying that this is not found, and I know why this is not found. It's not found because we need to set a null var so that we can use Web3 anywhere, because we're only using Web3 in Connect Wallet, but we need to use that everywhere else. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do a quick null var of Web3. Null, okay? And that's it. Now let's take a look back. And sure enough, no longer that error right there. So we're good. Okay, let's continue. Mint rate. Mint rate, how do we get the price that we set in N2D rewards for a particular token so then we can sell that at that price? We are also going to do a contract methods get NFT cost. Remember, this is their call. We did that previously to get the token smart contract address. Now we need to also retrieve the cost. How do we do that? Get NFT cost for PID. In this case, what the PID is? 0. So this is PID, reference here and here, which is 0, okay? Then call. Now, this is the same. Our value, that is the amount of NFTs that a particular user is requesting to mint. And this is used here, and now we're using it here. We'll store that in this particular bar, mint amount. Then finally, total amount, it's mint rate, and we explained that on other videos. Basically, cost of the NFT times how many NFTs will give you the total amount, what the user needs to pay, okay? Now, please attention to this. This is super important. When we interact, and I see questions being asked or scenarios where people on the comments are facing issues with trying to interact with tokens that are not native tokens, they're custom tokens, you have to send approval. So you need to tell the ERC-20 token smart contract that you need to tell that the NFT smart contract can spend the tokens. And this has to be approved by the ERC-20 token smart contract, not the NFT smart contract. This is a different contract, which means that I need to get that contract information. This is how we get it, because we're calling currency. Methods approved, then we get NFT contract. Who is NFT contract? It's the spender. The spender. You know what? Let me open Remix real quick because I need to make sure that you understand this, okay? I need to tell the token smart contract, the NFT collection smart contract will be allowed to spend, and then we tell X amount of tokens that are requested to be spent, okay? This value will be provided dynamically because the user will just select how many NFTs they want. Once they click the ERC-20 token they want to use to buy the picture or the logo, on the back we're giving the cost of NFTs and we're giving the total amount, and that total amount will be sent as an approval request to this smart contract. Hey, the NFT collection smart contract will like to transfer those tokens. The end user wants to buy NFTs, do you approve? And then the end user needs to say yes or no. This is not something that the smart contract needs to allow. It's the end user who's holding the tokens is the one that needs to allow that and tell the smart contract, hey, I am giving you authorization. Those are my tokens. Go for it, okay? Please. That's very important. We now have to go onto another call, and this is very cool, right? We are calling the first function, which basically is sending the approval to the ERC-20 token. Hey, I want to use this token. Are you approving? So then you can buy the NFTs. Then I am opening a den, which means that I can nest multiple calls, but then I want to run them in a particular order. After I get approval, okay, you approve? Perfect. Now I want to transfer from my wallet to the NFT Collection smart contract the token so I can mint. It sends a second request to the MetaMask wallet saying, hey, now do you want to transfer this amount of tokens? And this will be the price or the cost of those NFTs to be minted. Once you send that approval, then it needs to await. It needs to stop and wait until this gets processed, and then you can go ahead and mint, which is awesome, because until you get approval from that end user that they paid and the transfer was completed successfully, they are not going to get the mint request. Okay, so they need to send the money or the payment, and then they will get the prompt to mint the tokens. Okay, so that's the order of operations. You're gonna see it. First, the end user needs to approve. Then the end user needs to send the tokens. And finally, once that's completed, once we get confirmation from MetaMask, then the NFT user will mint those NFTs, will be allowed to mint the NFTs. Okay, that's how it's supposed to be, right? And that's in a nutshell, that's how we do it, okay? And what I ended up doing, I literally did a copy and paste, and I added the same thing, but for PID1, which will be USDT, and then I added another one for PID2, which will be Ape, okay? The Matic, which is a native token, I don't need to add a PID because this is the native token. This is by default in the smart contract. It's just gonna call that function to mint. That's all, okay? And let's see what we're left. Now we are almost done here. It's a long video, I'm telling you, it's a long video, but there's a lot of things that we have to cover, okay? And now we finished the button toolbar, and we now want to install all the tables. That's very cool. So we are now creating quick tables. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I want to show you that the more information we give in our project, the more visually appealing and the more trustable is, okay? So now let me show you. So we finished with the tokens, the token pictures. Now we need to add the tables. So let me show you the tables real quick. Basically what we're doing, this is an example that we can apply to the model, which will then, the idea for me on the next video is to start working with the staking pools and then build visually appealing dashboards for those staking pools. So then we can tell the end user right away, no, if you buy NFTs from the bronze collection, you get 0.50 N2 per day, and that could be exchangeable for 2 NFTs per month. You make up whatever you want to do. Then also for the silver collection, we're going to get 2.5 N2 tokens per day, which will give you 10 NFTs per month, something like that. Okay, so you just play with whatever mechanism you want to play with. And then finally, we'll have another gold collection. We'll have another collection, which is going to be called gold. That's going to give you a different ERC-20 token, which is the 1 N2 plus, which will allow you to get up to 25 NFTs per month or 100 N2 regular tokens. So the end user can stake them in an NFT staking vault, or they can stake that into an ERC-20 token farm, which we also are going to code in the upcoming videos. The N2 token staking farm, we set another table, quick table. What it's going to do, it's going to give you the opportunity to the end user to stake N2Rs, right? So let me go ahead and maximize right here. This is very cool. So we said about, the staking pools for NFTs, and then now we are also giving the opportunity to stake ERC-20. So if we code something to stake ERC-20s, we want to code 2 staking pools, one for N2 that the user will earn more N2Rs. And this is basically how many N2 tokens you can earn per N to the R stake. So you stake N to the R, you earn R to the Rs. And how many what you earn daily is 0.01. So the more they stake, the more they earn. And the same thing goes if you stake N to the Rs, but you want to earn N to the R plus, there's another vault or another pool in which the user will earn 0.005 per N to the R, okay? And the last thing we want to do is obviously have a cancel, like in case the user doesn't want to do anything. Click cancel and it closes the whole thing, okay? I think we're done. Let's see if we are lucky and this works right at the bat. Okay, before we do that, I want to show you real quick how the table is done. I'm not gonna go too deep onto that. Basically, we start with the header, obviously, if you see here. We're gonna start with the header. So the header is basically this right here, the staking pool active rewards, and this is another header, token stake farm. And then we'll have table header, which is this one right here, and the table contents, okay? So if we go back to React, we got the header, and then this is N to the R staking pools. This is, you can see here, the styling, and this is the theme. Again, if you go to React Bootstrap 5, in the documentation, you know which style you want to choose, and you go and you have it right here. And then we want to have this particular styling for the header. And then we have 3 column categories. We got the first one, collection, rewards per day, exchangeable items. And if we go back, that's what we have, collections, rewards per day, exchangeable items. And now we close the header. We now are working with the body. Let's start with this first section, and to the bronze collection. And if you can see it here, and to the bronze. Then the second option is the token price of the reward right here. And finally, the amount. And you can see here, you can mimic. You can just copy and paste. And this is what I did with the other ones, okay? I finished this table. I copied the entire table, paste it below, and only added what I needed to create this one right here. I told you guys, copy and paste. That's all it is, okay? No, it's more than that. It's more than that, okay? So let's take a look and see how that works. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna Control S and cross fingers. It's always about crossing fingers, you know? And looking good. So far, I don't see any errors, okay? And I can hover over here, so looks good, okay? So we got Connect Wallet, we got Enable Staking, and now I want my NFTs. Let's click and see. Oh, beautiful, okay? And let's go. As you remember, what was the first thing that I mentioned on the video? I need to approve the spender. The spender, who's the spender? The NFT smart contract will be the spender, okay? So I need to tell my N2DR token smart contract, hey, give permission to the NFT Collection smart contract to get those funds. So I'm gonna confirm. The next call or transaction will be the token transfer. So I am going to pay 60 N2DRs to get to NFTs. Remember on the beginning of the video, we added 30. That was the cost that we minted or that we deployed when we initialized the smart contract. I'm going to raise the video so you can start seeing the confirmations, okay? So I'm just raising this a little bit. And you can see here, 60 will be the amount that is going to be charged to mint 2 NFTs. Once I confirm, until I get the confirmation, we will not get the mint. Okay, so I'm gonna confirm. Now we need to wait for MetaMask to give us a confirmation, and then we can mint. So that means that the token smart contract has gotten the NFTs. Mint function. Now we transferred the tokens. Now we can definitely mint. So we confirm and we got ourselves NFTs. Awesome. Let's try it one more time with a different token to make sure that we're good, okay? Let me go ahead, refresh. Let me try it again. This time, now we got 2. We're looking very good, okay? Let me connect my wallet. I connected my wallet. This time I'm gonna get 5, but instead I'm gonna use USDT. So we're gonna click USDT and let's see how that looks. Confirm. Now we should get the balance. There you go. USDT, we're charging way more than with our N2 reward tokens, but we're getting 5 NFTs, 750. Let's confirm. Looking great. Okay, so we confirm. Now we're waiting for the transfer to complete and we get the mint. Boom, awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, now we can go ahead and mint. Now this should rise to 7 because we got 2 and then 5, 7 in total. We're gonna refresh and that should be good to go. Done, we got the NFTs. Now let me go ahead and refresh. There we go, we got 7. Awesome. And now let's try with 2. But this time we're going to connect. We're going to try with 2 NFTs and we're going to use the ape token. And there you go. Give permission to access your ape. Yes. Confirm. Now 50 ape. Confirm. There you go. We get approval. Confirm. We get the tokens transferred. Confirm. And we finally get the NFT to be minted. And now we can start seeing the NFTs coming on the back. And there you go. We got the mint. Works like a charm. There you go. That's it for this video. It was a long video. We have done so many cool, amazing things with this, okay? Stick around for the next one, okay? Wow, what a long video. But again, when we start going down the path of perfection, it's gonna take us more time because we are not just configuring a simple button, a simple NFT input amount box. We are now going and making the Web3 dApp looking more visually appealing because your end users need to get confidence in the project. That is very important. If there's no confidence in the project, how do you expect your NFT holders or potential buyers from trusting you? So you got to make sure that the Web3 application looks like a proper Web3 application. It has all the bells and whistles. It looks very stylish, very modern, and it has everything easy for the end user to adopt and to navigate to, okay? On the next video, what I'm going to do, we already have the mint portal and we did that using a model-based portal. We are going to do the same thing. So it's going to be a shorter video. So what we're going to do, we're going to code a similar model. In this case, we are just going to code the staking reward functionality. Okay, so we need to make something as visually appealing as the mint portal. We have to do it with the staking portal. Okay, and we are going to code that. And we're definitely going to see a way better application and users will definitely be happier navigating with, okay? Alrighty, so that's it for this video. I hope you like my videos. If you do, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed to, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye.